to Aware. We are dedicated to communicating information that inspires your positive growth and change. Are you interested in a peaceful planet? Are you interested in optimal health? Are you living with purpose? Are you enjoying your life? We realize each person can make a difference, and our mission is to empower your awareness. The choices that you make in every moment shape your life, and we encourage you to realize that you have your own answers and to always listen to your own truth. We invite you to stay aware. Hello and welcome to the Aware Show, and I'm so excited about today's show because for anyone who's listening that has ever experienced a miracle in your life, that chance-like event that happens that seems to fall out of the sky and answer your prayers, this show is for you. And if you don't feel that you have had that experience, during the show, you're going to realize that you probably have, and it takes some recognition. Our little miracles in our lives need recognition sometimes because we do need to know that they definitely exist in so many ways. And joining me to talk about this is my wonderful, absolutely incredibly marvelous friend, genius woman, and mentor to my heart, Marci Shimoff. She is a brilliant New York Times bestselling author, #1, and a world-renowned transformational teacher. She's an expert on happiness. Thus the name of her book, Happy for No Reason, and Love for No Reason. And she also wrote an amazing Chicken Soup for the Women's Soul series. So she has, done so many incredible things in her life. In addition to selling more than 16 million copies worldwide in 33 languages, Marci is one of the most generous, compassionate, open-hearted, brilliant people that I know. I absolutely love you, my friend. Hi.
Hi, Lisa. I love getting to be with you. You're one of my favorite people on the planet, one of my true soul sisters. And it's always a pleasure and an honor and a joy and fun to get to be with you.
Yes. And I think it was 4 years ago now. So Marci and I have been friends for, probably 20 years. And I've been interviewing her on the Aware Show for a long time, and her books have come out, and it's been so great. And then 4 years ago, I was like Christmas for me. I got invited to be a co-host in a certain part of the Your Year of Miracles program. And what an honor this has been. What a joy, what a ride this has been. And I'm so grateful to you. Has it been 4 years, Marci?
Well, time flies when you're having fun, Lisa. It's been 5.
Oh my goodness.
5 years. Yeah, we're going into our 6th year together.
6th year. Oh my gosh. That definitely does. So what we're talking about is a program. It's a year-long program called Your Year of Miracles. And one of the gems of this program is something that I'm super passionate about, and it's community. And when you're in a community of people who are working month after month, week after week together with your set intention, your own set intention, but with the group effort towards your set intentions, your personal intentions, we have seen such incredible miracles manifest. And so I'm going to start off by asking you, gosh, so many things. How did you create this program? This has been a long time for you that you've had this program.
Yeah, it's a miracle in itself that I would be teaching a program on living a miraculous life. Because as you well know, Lisa, I did not live a miraculous life. I struggled throughout I was born unhappy. I struggled throughout all of my growing up years, my 20s even, and even my 30s. I really worked to have success so I could be happy, and I had success and I still wasn't happy. And so I really, when I was, I think I had just turned 30. Yeah.
30?
40,
Wow.
40. I had just turned 40, sorry.
40.
And I was at the peak of my success. I had books on bestseller lists and everything was all great according to what the world would think. And I crashed. I was just unhappy. And I decided I'm going to figure out this thing called happiness. and I dug deep into the research on happiness, and I started doing what happy people did. I started practicing what happy people did, and I became happy. And then over the years of feeling happier and happier and happier, and I wrote Happy for No Reason and Love for No Reason, I started finding myself waking up every morning, Lisa, feeling like, oh my God, my life is a miracle. Like these great synchronicities would happen. I'd be thinking about something, and an email about it would come into me, or I'd have some idea, and people would give me an offering of, hey, do you want to teach this program? And I just thought of it. It's like these wonderful, meaningful synchronicities or welcome kinds of coincidences. And I
You were in the
realized
flow. You
I
were
was in the
absolutely in the
flow.
flow.
That was it. And I
Mhm.
came to realize that's what I call the miracle zone. And so I thought, you know what? There are ways that people can put themselves in the miracle zone. And I started figuring out what those were and teaching those. And that's what you and I get to teach, along with some other fantastic
Mm.
people. And it is jaw-dropping to see the kinds of miracles that people can have in their lives. And that
I've
is for all of us. It's not for just anybody, lucky people. It's for anyone. We've seen people coming out of the hardest circumstances and
Yes.
starting to live in the miracle zone.
It is incredible. And so many of people in the program are going through such transitions in their lives. And who are we to think that we're not going to go through transitions? And it always hits us so hard. And what we need during that time is support, people that have gone through it before and survived it and thrived through it, people that can support you and lift you along the way. And I want to talk a little bit more about that, but I got to ask you a question, because you said something that you said that I didn't want to take for granted. You just said, I studied and researched everybody who talked about happiness and I became happy. How did you do that? I just have to touch on that, because
Yeah.
not just everybody does that.
So, well, I really wanted to be happy. It all starts with our intention. It was something deep inside of me. I had tried so many different ways of becoming happy, and they weren't working. And I thought, I'm going to go to the source. I'm going to go, I talk to researchers. And then I also talk to people who have what I call unconditional happiness. That's happy for no reason, not happy because of something,
Uh-huh.
but happy, an inner state of peace and well-being that doesn't depend on your circumstances. And so I listened, and I just started doing little bits of what they were saying they did. Okay, I'll try that out for a week, or I'll try that out for another week. I became an experimenter. And I think that's what we all need to do. We don't need to just listen to somebody and say, okay, they said to do it, so I'm going to do it.
Right.
We use our own lives as an experiment. And I took baby steps, and I started doing these simple little things. And I started really having shifts happen. I mean, really dramatic. And I thought, okay, this is good. And, once you start going down a path that's working, that feels good, it builds on itself. So I just kept on going.
Now, that is a great point, though, because it has to work for you.
Yes.
And yes, there's a lot of teachings out there that work for them. And you can look at that person and say, well, they had a different upbringing, they had a different circumstance. It really has to work for you. And you also said there that you set your intention, that you wanted to be happy. You went through a lifetime of this predisposition of depression. I mean, it was a chemical thing, or
Yes.
past lives, or whatever you want to call it. But you came in with this set of circumstances that you maybe weren't producing dopamine. Who knows what it was, but you were on a quest to be happy, and you figured it out.
Well, and I really believe it's everybody's birthright.
Mm.
I believe that we are on this planet to live magnificent lives. We're not just here randomly to live in what I call the mediocre zone. The mediocre zone is how's life? Oh, it's okay. I'm
Right.
getting. That's not what we're here on the
Yeah.
planet to do. We're here to really awaken to the amazing truth and beauty and love that we are. And I didn't want to feel gypped. I didn't want to gyp myself in life by not really going for it. And I think, anybody who's here, anyone who's listening to the Aware Show, anyone who's with you, Lisa, we all have that same calling inside to live what is the highest and truest and best life for ourselves. And
Yes.
I think that this is also the time on the planet that's set up for us. It may not look that way. It may look like, my God, everything's falling apart. And in many ways, it is falling apart, but it's falling apart so that we become more and more aligned with what it is that will put us into not that mediocre zone of life that is just kind of getting by, but that miracle zone where we're living like this, awake, alive.
Yes. Yes. And that going back to the whole community part of it, it's a community of light workers. It's a community of people like you're talking about that really want to live in that place of possibilities. And that takes intention, because we are very quick to say what's not working in our lives, or what we don't want, or we're not satisfied with the weight or the income or the job or the relationship. But do we really say, I want it to look like this? In order to do that, there's a lot of things that have to happen. You have to give yourself permission, self-worth to get there. So can you talk a little bit about that, about the worthiness to feel like living in a miracle zone?
Yeah. Well, first, let me do a little bit of more of a definition for people, so it's not so woo-woo out there, about what we mean by living in the miracle zone.
Yes.
And then I'm so happy to talk about that. That's such an important subject you just brought up. So the word miracle, according to the dictionary, is a surprise and welcome event that can't be explained by science, but that's often attributed to divine grace. So we can't control miracles. We can't create miracles. They are a gift of the divine. But what we can do is we can create the conditions for miracles to flow into our lives. And the reality is that we have 11 billion bits of information that comes in front of us every second, and we only perceive a very small fraction of it. And so there are lots of amazing, miraculous things that are happening at all times, and we just aren't aware of it. We are not in the flow of it. So what we're talking about is putting ourselves in the flow and opening up to this miracle zone where these synchronicities and miracles happen to us more and more. And it's not necessarily about like controlling what's going on out there.
Right.
It's about putting ourselves in that receptive mode. And you brought up this issue of worthiness. And what I've seen, and I know you've seen, Lisa, is that so the miracles are there. They're waiting for us. And most of us are blocking them. We're by unconsciously, of course. I mean, nobody would consciously push these things away. But we are going, am I really worthy of that? And what I've seen is that there is no worthiness scale in the realm of miracles. We are worthy of living a magnificent life. And so what does that mean? That means that we have enough self-love. We have enough sense of deservingness that we open to receive the miracles that are kind of knocking at the door. And let's just do a little experiment. Is that okay? All right. So, it's often been said that, and I'm sure people have heard that people can't give you more than you're willing to receive, right? Somebody tries to give you something, and if you don't feel worthy of it, you're not going to open to receive it. Well, the universe is the same way. The universe can't give to you what you don't feel worthy of opening to receiving. And so I just want to do a little quick quiz with people.
Okay.
To see how you feel about receiving in small ways, because the ways in which you can receive in small ways mirror the ways in which you are opening to receiving in big ways. So this is a question of 5 questions. So here we go.
You have so taught me this. Okay, go.
All right. The first question is, do you have a hard time receiving compliments? So somebody says something to you like, oh, you did a great job on that. And you go, oh, that was nothing. Or you look magnificent in that. Oh, this old thing. I just, I got it on sale or whatever. You diminish yourself in the light of that comment.
Such a women thing to do. Oh, these things, I got them at, Ross.
Totally. I know. Some of my favorite things.
I know, right? Some of the best shoes.
And so it's how are you diminishing yourself in the face of a compliment? So that's number one. The second one is a gift. If you receive a gift, do you feel a little guilty about it, or you feel that you have to give back twice as much as what you just received?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you just open to receiving it just lovingly and fabulously? I mean, I can tell you, I've received some amazing gifts from you, Lisa, and I love them every time you give them. I have a bag on, a big, fantastic tote bag that says happy on the side of it. And I use it still to this day. And that was years and years ago. So do you receive it and go, oh, yes, thank you? Or do you receive it and feel like, okay, now what do I have to do back? Right?
I've had to learn this one. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so that's number two. Number three is support. Do you easily receive support? Somebody offers to help you with something. Do you go, no, I can do this myself? Or even worse, do you have a hard time asking for help? Oh no, I should be able to do this myself. I shouldn't ask for help. Okay, well, if so, that is a way in which you're pushing away some of the blessings or gifts that could potentially be coming your way. So how are you with that one, Lise?
Well, that has always been a challenge for me. I've always said it's going to take me less time to do it myself than to ask for help. That's been a big one for me. And I'm still in that a little bit. Yeah.
I actually, and it is true, in the beginning, it does take you less time to do it yourself than receive help.
But if you empower people,
in the long run, it actually is a way of I think it's a way of pushing away support.
Interesting.
So, yeah, being able to ask for support. So that's number three. Number four, do you have a hard time accepting things if they come easily? In other words, you feel as though you should have to work hard,
so hard,
struggle, and make everything happen. And if it comes to you like on easily, then it's kind of cheating.
Right. No, work hard has always been my motto. Got to work hard. I'm working really hard.
And I had the same one. I came from a family of we got to work hard and
work ethic
and struggle. It's almost like if you don't struggle, then the
work ethic is good, but that's it, that you're never going to do enough. You're never going to make enough. You're never going to add up.
Yeah. And that struggle is the better way. And that if it comes through ease, then that's not okay.
Right.
That is a paradigm that's big in our society, is that we better struggle. And if we didn't struggle for it, it's not worth it. We didn't earn it.
Right. No such thing as a free lunch. I mean, yes.
Yeah. And interesting message that you give to the universe of, if it comes easily, that's not okay. So this is another way in which we are pushing away our good.
Blocking
it. Saying that we are wanting a free lunch, taking it as a ride on somebody else's hard work. I'm saying that sometimes beautiful things happen and we just need to open up and receive and go, oh yeah, that feels good, and honor that. So that's the fourth. And then the fifth way is it's about other people. It's about, do you have a hard time honoring and appreciating what you got because you feel bad that somebody next to you doesn't have it? And so you better not enjoy what you have because you don't want somebody else to feel bad, or it's not fair. It's almost a guilt. Well, your suffering and not having what's yours is not helping the other person at all. It doesn't. It's another form of shutting down or resisting what could come your way. So those are 5 questions. If you had some resistance in any of those areas, those are some ways in which you are pushing away your good. And I recommend that you play this little game that I call the how do I push away my good game?
Oh,
And that is over the next few days, just start noticing, are there ways in which you are pushing away your good? Somebody offers something to you and you go, no, 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 it's okay. And are you pushing it away? And then learn to become a gracious receiver. And so so step number one is learn if you're pushing it away. Step number two is notice when you are, and take a deep breath and ask the question, how could I open up to receiving more right now?
mm-hmm.
Simple. How could I open up to receiving? And then step number three is receive. Just breathe it in, let it in, even if it's not something that's, even if it's a stretch for you.
Wow, those are great, great things. You can start small on things like that. You can do it in a bigger way, especially during the holiday season or whenever. It's a great chance for you to really practice these things and see what shifts for you, see what might change for you. I know you have taught me the art of receiving. I was horrible at it, but you've given me such beautiful flowers and wonderful things that I just wrap my arms around them and put them in every room in the house.
Well, I have to tell you,
Go
Lisa,
nuts with the flowers.
I have to tell you, so the flowers that you have there are ones
Yes.
I
Yes.
sent.
Yes.
And when we got on, and before we got on, you thanked me for the flowers and how much you appreciate them. Your appreciating of them is a gift to me.
Ah,
It's so your receiving them is really a gift to the giver.
oh my goodness. They make my office smell so wonderful. And I take them to every room. Go in the living room, I'll bring them there, I'll bring them to the kitchen. Like my little friend.
And see, here's the thing. These may seem like, oh, these are small things. What do these really have to do with living a miraculous life? It's the small ways how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yes.
How you receive in terms of the flowers or the whatever it is how you receive in life. So become a gracious receiver.
Yes. So these are just some of the things, just part of the techniques that we talk about in your year of miracles. And I want to, if we could go through some of the processes. First of all, how many people over the years have joined the Year of Miracles, have been through the Year of Miracles program?
Yeah. So we have had more than 30,000 people
Wow.
Who have been through the full year-long program. We've had over 500,000. I think it's approaching 600,000 people who have attended our 3 Secrets to Living a Miraculous Life webinar.
Yes.
And we just,
Wow.
and we hear stories. This last year we had 87 countries.
Oh,
It's
now,
so amazing. We'd get on and we'd say, type into the chat, where are you from? And it'd be like, Mongolia and Timbuktu.
Saudi Arabia. I mean, so many. That's what I found phenomenal, is that having a life that you live with possibility, miracles, and community translates into every language, every part of the world. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
And especially with what we're going through in the world today, it's up to us light workers, people that really can hold this space for peace to happen. We have to be able to go look at the possibility for someday peace to happen. If we don't see it, we can't create it. And we can look at what's not that easily, but how many of us are really holding the space for what is that? And that's what I love about this community, because you have got turned on people that are focused on the highest possibility, chunking up to the highest order in their lives, and then supporting every other sister, brother that they can in the community to do the same. Now, that's what I call an intentional life. And speaking of intentions, let's talk a little bit about what that means. How do we tell the difference, and how do we set intentions? And a lot of this program starts with that in January.
Yeah, we do. The very first month of the year, we walk through a process where you get clear on what's called your soul-based intentions for the year. Most people are setting intentions in what we call ego-based intentions. And there's really 2 main energies in the universe. There is the energy of contraction and there's the energy of expansion. Another way of saying it is that there's the energy of fear, contraction, ego, and then there's the energy of expansion, love, the soul. And when we are setting our intentions beginning of the year, and they're from the ego, they make us feel bad. We just feel contracted. We feel yucky. You know, we feel like we should do this. We have to do this. It just doesn't feel good. But when we set our intentions from the place of the soul, which is the place of alignment and truth, the truth of who we are, it feels expanded. It feels like, oh yeah, that's what I'm going for. And so I absolutely know that the soul is the realm of miracles. The ego is not. The ego is the realm of fear, struggle, disappointment. So what we do is we walk people through a process that helps them get in touch with their three main soul-based intentions for the year. And of course, we don't have time here to do that whole process, but I can share with people right now, because my guess is that, you know, as we're at the beginning of the year, at the transition of the year, it's just natural that we're going to set some goals for ourselves. And do you know, Lisa, that by the end of January, I think only 20% of people still have those goals. And by the end of the year, only 8% of people have achieved their goals. 8% by the end of the year.
Talk about not focusing on what we want.
Yeah. I mean, think about your own year. How many times have you set the same intentions every year? Yeah, I'm going to lose that 20 pounds, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. And it's just the same old intentions year after year after year. My guess is those are ego-based intentions. And so
what's the difference?
So ego-based intentions come from a place of, I need this because I want to serve my ego. I want to feel good. I want to look good. I want other people to think well of me. They're usually a little more outer focused. Soul-based intentions come from a sense of alignment with what is the truth of what's calling me in my life right now. And I'll give you a super simple example of the way, and often it's just a difference. The intention is kind of, the outcome is the same, but the way that we go about it is different. And so I'll give you a simple example.
Okay.
If somebody were to say, I want to lose 20 pounds this year, I would, first of all, I'd go, well, you say it out loud. I want to lose 20 pounds this year. And how do you feel? Most people are going to feel tight and oh my God.
Like how? And that's daunting. And
and it's like, I have to, I should, I can't be happy until I do. You know, it's all of that. Doesn't feel good. Ego-based intention. Let's look at the soul-based version of that intention. A soul-based version of that intention might sound like this. I'm fit, healthy, and vital in a body that reflects my beauty inside, or my radiance inside.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't say anything about a specific number of pounds. I said how I want to feel. And I didn't say I want to do this. I said I am. So there's a couple distinctions. So notice, first of all, how do you feel when you hear or when you say I'm fit, vital, and healthy in a body that reflects my inner radiance?
So much better, because that gives me the visual of what it is that I want to feel and the emotion of it.
Yes, the visual and the emotion, rather than I want to lose 20 pounds. I feel fit, vital, and healthy in a body that reflects my radiance.
Yes, much better.
And so what it is, first of all, it's in present tense, as though it's happening. It's I am rather than I want to, or I have to. It tends to be more about the feeling of it rather than a specific thing. You know, I am living in the abundant flow of material life. Oh yeah, lovely. I am making $10,000 more a year. Ugh.
Yeah,
it just feels heavy and contracting. And one is kind of more like ego, I better do this or I won't be happy. The other is, this is what feels right for, this is my soul calling of me.
It feels so much lighter. It really does. It also feels more possible. The other one feels like a punishment or a heaviness or a duty. And you're not, and that's why probably most people's New Year's resolutions fail. And setting like the full intention, like we do at the beginning of the year, you spend an entire month on the intention setting. And this year, we have the amazing Lisa Nichols to join us with that incredible process, which is such a gift. I'm so excited. By the way, if people want to look up how to join the Year of Miracles, you can go to the website, which is theawareshow.com/miracles. It's theawareshow.com/miracles. And you will get a wonderful, you can read this ebook about the 4 biggest mistakes that keep you from living a miraculous life. And that is some of the things that we've talked about today, but really dive into this. And I'm very excited that Lisa Nichols is going to be joining. Tell us a little bit about that. Very exciting.
Yes. So over the last 5 years, we have had the wonderful, you and I have got
Yes.
to co-host every month. We have a different theme of the month. So the first month in January is dreaming your miraculous dreams. And the second month is falling in love with yourself. You know, that very important thing we just talked about is of worthiness, feeling love for yourself to receive miracles. And then the third month is on letting go and creating space in our lives for the miracles to flow in. And then we have a month on money and a month on success and one on health and one on relationships. And each month we focus on all these different areas of our lives where we want to live a most miraculous life. And you and I have gotten to host every month. We have a special guest expert, and you and I get to interview people like Reverend Michael Beckwith, and we interviewed Layla Ali,
Mm-hmm. And Marie
Muhammad Ali's
Forleo
wife.
before in the
Oh,
past,
yeah.
who's
Marie
amazing.
Forleo. And we had Jamie Kern Lima, who phenomenal, just some of the most inspiring people on the planet.
Yes.
And then we also, another aspect of the program is that each month we have a teaching segment with miracle mentors and teachers. And this year we have 4 different, in the prior years, Dr. Sue Morter was in the last 5 years.
Incredible.
She's just amazing, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And she is staying on and continuing to teach with us. And what she does is she helps people create the energetic circuitry for miracles in their lives, in their bodies.
Bring it into the body.
Bring it in the
Yes.
body, breathing things and
Yes.
other kinds of things that we can do so that you're building it in the circuitry. And this year, we also have 3 other guest mentors that we're bringing in. And that is Lisa Nichols. As you said, Lisa Nichols is just dynamite.
Phenomenal woman. Talk about, I mean, I think she is so gifted as an orator of possibility and motivation.
And she really knows from where she speaks. You know, Lisa grew up in South Central LA. She calls it a very rough and difficult neighborhood. And she was in her 20s. She found herself single with a child. She says broke and broken. And no money. She went to go get diapers. She went to go get $20 out of the ATM to get diapers for her baby, her son. And there was not enough money to do that. So for a couple of days till she could get diapers, she wrapped them in towels. And she really knows how to come back from challenges and live an amazing dream. And she's a New York Times bestselling author and all that. So we have her. We also have
goosebumps.
Yeah, God bumps, I call
God bumps.
And we have Mike Dooley. Mike Dooley is well known for the saying, thoughts become things.
Yes.
And he and Lisa and I, all 3 of us, were in the movie The Secret.
Yes.
About the law of attraction. And
that's
so
right.
Joining us. And then also the amazing Lynn Twist. So we're going to have 4 different seasons and to move through living a most miraculous life.
And this is, again, it's a year-long commitment, but every month is a different theme, as Marci said, and it's a different opportunity for you to dive into that particular theme in your life. It could be health, it could be finances or success, it could be relationships, it could be your own spiritual path and growth. It could be, celebrating the goodness in life. Every month is dedicated to that amongst this community of 6,000 people that are online together. And it's live every month. It's live. So that's not, you're not getting canned, pre-recorded anything. It is Marci and me and Lisa Nichols and Mike Dooley and Dr. Sue and everyone showing up for you. And it's an incredible, just beautiful program. And the miracles that have happened, we're going to talk about in just a second. But again, I just want to remind you that the website is theawareshow.com/miracles. And so we get to do something on the show today, which is about something that everyone's going to do at the beginning of the program, is create a theme for the year. And I think this is very, very powerful. Why did you choose that? Like, what does living your year's theme do for people?
So we are really, our attention is very much what determines our experiences in life. Where we put our energy and attention is it's one of the five, we call them the five foundations for living in the miracle zone. And years ago, I was writing the book on happiness, and I decided at the beginning of that year, I was going to make my theme for the year around happiness. Happy is my theme. Mm-hmm. And that I was going to decide, I was going to select what I was going to make decisions in my life based on whether that decision supported that theme for the year. And by the end of that year, man, I had lived that. And so every year since then, and that was 15 or 20 years ago, I pick a theme for the year, and it becomes your guiding light of the year. It's not a thing that you want to, get, like I'm going to have a new job necessarily.
Right. Or a car or something like that. Yeah.
Exactly. It's not that. It's the vibe. It's the energy that you want to have be the energy of your year. So this past year for me, it was deep peace. And so when I would make a decision about do I go here or do I go here, which is going to more support that energy of me ultimately experiencing deep peace.
Mine was worthiness. And self-value. And I had the Post-its that we create, and I had them in this triangle sitting on my desk for the whole year. And every part of this, it shows up for you in so many different ways, because it's really tapping into the unconscious of where you're not showing up worthy or where you're not living your full true value. And that gives you the opportunity to work it out and eventually come to the end of the year where you are.
And Lisa, I had forgotten that yours was worthiness for this year. And it's so interesting because as many people here listening probably know, Lisa, you had an accident this year, an experience on your bike that caused you to, you broke both clavicles and
severe concussion. Yes, it was life altering. Absolutely.
And what happened was you, through your worthiness, opened up to receiving support, receiving outpourings of love, receiving care from people. And I think that was, in a way, kind of a stretch, a test for you in the area of worthiness. How does that land for you?
Oh my gosh, you are so right, Marci. Thank you for putting that together. I received support like I never have before in my life from my husband of 22 years, that I just was right in front of me of how much he loves and adores me. And he showed up for me as my arms for months. And that alone, it transformed my relationship with him in an even deeper way. And everyone else in my life who just showed up and said, let me do this. You don't have to do it alone anymore. You want to learn that lesson? You break both arms.
At least there are easier ways of doing that.
I don't suggest it. Oh my God. What a year. Yes. Thank you for showing that to me. So true. And I'm embracing that now and showing up authentically and beautifully and full in every moment of worthiness.
Yeah.
Big
How
one for me.
fabulous is that?
hmm
So, what I recommend, what we both recommend that people do, is you feel into what is calling you in the new year. What is it that really is the most important thing? Now, it may be love, it may be vitality, it may be joy,
Peace, like you had suggested.
peace.
hmm
There's so many options. And you don't have to have it just be one word. It could be a couple of words. So it could be like, let's say yours is abundance. That's the thing for you this year. You could also give what kind of abundance you want. You want joyful abundance. You
Mm,
want flowing abundance. What's the feeling behind that kind of abundance? You don't want your theme to be two or three things. So you don't want it to be success and health. You
right.
want it to be one thing, but you can use an adjective to describe how that one thing is. So it could be vital health.
Mm,
It could be abundant joy. It could be, deep worthiness, like mine was deep peace. So if
mm.
that works for you, and what you want to do is what Lisa just described. You want to have that in your vision, like you had it, Lisa. Do you have that card
Yes,
there?
I have it on my I don't think you can see it here, but um rip the paint off the
Oh,
desk.
don't rip it off the desk. It's okay. We believe you. But I had my fabulous. We each work with our angels, and they're both named Gina.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So my Gina's sister paints on rocks, and every
Yes.
year she paints on a rock what my theme is for the year, and it's there on my desk, and I just see it, and it goes in. It's amazing how deeply
Oh,
these
how
messages go
beautiful.
in subconsciously.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to, really bring that theme alive in your world, like you have it on your desk.
Yes,
You're gonna have to
yes.
stick with it for a while, unless because if it's stuck on your
I'm
desk,
gonna
you're
have
gonna
to get it off the
cover it
desk
up
soon.
with your next year's theme, I think.
So I'm just gonna pre-paint the desk. But it's, that exactly for me is in my field of vision. And there's I have one of the protection stones next to it, and I have things next to it that keeps the energy protected, keeps it in my unconscious all the time so that it's constantly moving for me. And I suggest anybody to do this. Put the theme of your year in your sphere around you so that it's constantly working in your unconscious mind so that you approach life from that position in everything that you do. Because as Marci said, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And if for you, it was value and self-worth, for me, was in every area of my life, I needed to value myself higher and have my own self-worth be higher in order to receive. And it was a life-changing year. I please do not recommend anybody doing what I did, but do it, get it first before you have to go through those types of challenges. And I have learned with this, it also is combined with the soul's intention as well. That's a part of what that feels like. That soul's intention is wrapped around that theme of the year as well. I know they're separate things, and then in the program, we break it down to finances and success and relationship and all sorts of different categories in your life so that you see how that theme intertwines in every category of your life and how you are reacting to that part of your life. So it's a well thought out program and
Yeah,
it works.
it works. I mean, that's the thing. The idea of living in the miracle zone, and the keys, the foundations that put us in the miracle zone are universal. And so for one person, they need it to work in the area of health. For another person, they more need it to work in the area of finances. For someone else, in the area of relationships. I mean, I remember, we've had so many examples of what's happened for people. I mean, there's one woman this year who in February was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, was given not a great prognosis, and she worked these principles. She did, of course, a number of things in her life, and she just a couple of weeks ago told us how she is cancer free.
Oh my God.
Doctors are just
Now that's a
blown away.
miracle.
I
And
mean, that's the kind of thing in the area of health. And then we have somebody who just like was struggling financially, and they just didn't, they were kind of verging on some financial possible real bankruptcy,
challenges.
and they had amazing kinds of flow open up in their lives, and they're making more than they've ever made in their entire life. So
Mm.
it's just, it's different for different people. I mean, I go on and on. I mean, there's the story of one of the women in our program. When she joined, she was in a heavy duty custody battle
Wow.
for her child, and in work that wasn't her thing. And now she's just like flying. We have one woman who, I think she'd be okay if we said it. She's the in her dream job. Just got an offer 2 months ago to be the dean of a medical school, where she gets to write basically the curriculum for, and she's going to
Wow.
all of
Excellent.
this. I mean, it's just, it goes on and on and on about
Yes.
what kind and reconciliations, people who are in the process of separation with a partner. Some of them separate and they end up meeting someone else and having a great relationship. Some of them get back together, reconcile, and some people fall in love with themselves for the first time, where there's like, I'm full, and if somebody comes along, great, and if they don't, great. And I say, congratulations to that.
I have had the opportunity to do story coaching with many of our wonderful community members. And what I have seen people go through is the thrival of people through loss, lots and lots of loss this last year, and the many prior years, of that feeling of losing loved ones, losing jobs, losing identity, with how they used to be in a job or anything like that. And how I have seen these women transform that loss into purpose and create their level of creating and manifesting once they got that piece of that transformation. One woman who'd lost, Dr. Roz lost her husband, her dog, her mom, all in a year, was so devastating. And yet she delivers babies. She brings life in. And she asking that question, how does one leave and one come in? And what's the connection? And now she's creating these incredible soulful meditation programs in hospitals. And she is the one to do it. And she's just, thriving with how many people and things are coming out of the woodwork to support her, because she's living on purpose. And I've seen that in so many people in this program that ignite their purpose. It lights up. There's a whole month on just that, on purpose. And it not only connects, but when it clicks for people, it shifts them. And it's like the cogs all go into place, the wheels turn, change is going to happen. It happens, but in a supportive way where you ignite your purpose and move forward. And I've seen it again and again and again. And it takes other people sometimes to really illuminate that for you. When you're in the middle of it, you can't see, the blinders are on, and somebody else comes around and represents possibility and represents forward movement and miracles. And that's part of the foundations there of trusting in the universe that support exists. And it does.
It does. And, most people don't have support around them in the way that they need them. I mean, if you look around, there's a lot of negative people around. When I have, over the years, when I've traveled around speaking about happiness, the number one question that I'm asked by people is, what do I do about all the negative people around me? And it's very hard to be living a miraculous life when you've got people who are naysayers, dream stealers, people who are negative. And so what we've found is that, some of those people are your family members. You're not going to get rid of them. But what we need to do is we need to find like-hearted people to help our own dreams, because we cannot do it alone. We're not meant to do it alone. We human beings are social animals. Yes. And the people that I have seen flourishing the most in life are people who had a support system around them of like-hearted people that helped them believe in their dreams. And, you know, one of our very dear friends, Lisa, is Lynn McTaggart.
Yes.
Lynn McTaggart has done work on the intention experiment. The intention experiment is basically saying, how does our intentioning for other people impact them? And so part of what we do in your Year of Miracles is we have these miracles groups where
so great. This is the core of the program. Yes.
Yeah, one of the cores, 4 to 8 people in a group. And this is optional. You don't have to do it, but you have your miracles group and you meet every few weeks, every 2 weeks, and you have a specific format in which you meet. Doesn't take long. It's maybe a half an hour. And what you do is you focus on each other's intentions, where you put your attention on each other's intentions. And by doing that, you are what we call supercharging each other's intentions. So whether you do that here in the Year of Miracles, or whether you do it in your own life, what we say is find people who are like-hearted people, join together, a group of 5 to 8 people, and in a consistent way, intention each other's miracles. It can take just even a couple of minutes every morning where you're putting your valuable attention on the intentions for the people in your life. And that is, it's I think a secret weapon, a secret tool that we have at our disposal.
Especially the altruistic effect that is created from it, where you feel so good when you do something like that. You know how you feel if you've ever paid it forward to someone in the line behind you at a Starbucks or anything like that, and you'll never know who they are, and it doesn't matter because you just feel good in that moment. Or you've done something nice to help somebody that day with absolutely no strings attached, and it feels so good to help that person without ever needing anything in return, because that's the gift. And if we could experience that, if all of us can experience that, it's going to lift humanity. It's going to be a better world to live in. And Lynn McTaggart, you'd mentioned, is doing these incredible intention experiments for the Middle East. And you can join her on those as well, because with thousands and thousands of people, she's intending for peace. And as I said, if we can't see it, we can't experience it. So we've got to be able to see that. This is also that in your own life, where you get to intend for yourself and for others with wins, and focus on what's working, focus on what you want, imagine, visualize, see it, feel it, all that we get to do together, and then do it in a group, which is even more powerful. So, I mean, I can't say enough about this experience. It's been such an honor for me to do this with you. I wish we could do it forever, but you know,
Well, we can. Who
we
says
can. Why not?
We'll do it until it's not the
Right,
time.
whatever. So it's theawareshow.com/miracles. This is a free ebook which gives you the 4 biggest mistakes that people make from keeping you from living in the miracle zone. And that is one of the best things to do, is download the free ebook. You'll get to hear from incredible people. This is written by Marci Shimoff and Lisa Nichols. That is incredible. I'm very excited about this. So I just want to say thank you for everything that you've always done, for being who you're being, for creating this incredible community movement that you have created over the years. It has birthed so many miraculous lives and connected people that have made lifelong friendships from this program. And they're so shiny and bright every time I see them. And I just really love and enjoy doing this with you, my sister Marci. Thank you.
Well, my sister Lisa, thank you for joining me in the Miracle Zone, because I love, what better thing than being able to help all of us uplift all of our lives. And as we do it ourselves, we do it for the world. As one person rises, we rise for the world, and we bring more light to this planet of ours.
The rising tide that lifts all boats. That's what we are. And it does help, and to be a part of it and to stick with it. So as you said, most people let go of these intentions and whatever resolutions are called through the end of the year. This stays with it throughout the whole end of the year. And then we celebrate in December a miraculous year. And we look back and we see the account of what has happened. And it's every single year blows my mind. And I'm so grateful to be a part of it. So thank you. Thank you. I will see you very soon with the Marci sandwich between two Lisas.
Yes, yes. Well, I just want to wish everyone a most miraculous 2024. May it truly be a year of miracles for you.
And you as well, my friend. I will see you very soon. Again, you can go to the website, which is theawareshow.com/miracles. You can get your free ebook there, The 4 Biggest Mistakes People Make that keep you from living in the miracle zone. And please, I always, always invite you to stay aware.